anything particularly fancy today. Still working on the save load system. I've got everything set up to display the game time and the player name and all that, so let me pull this up. Turn that down. So right now you can just pick from one of the saves in the title screen, but when you go to the save load game, either one, you can see in the bottom, actually I've stored the name of the captain. You'll get the player name, just making up random names right now. They'll store the map you're on or the location, and then how long you've been playing, and calendar day, so that can help you keep track of different saves. They're all mouse over, so you can see the same information when you're loading the game. So it'll load up. That's really all there was to that. It's not fancy, but it did take a lot of setup. So to break that down, if you want, there's a whole bunch to it, so I'll get to each part here, but I'll just show an example for one slot. So first you'll see that this has changed. Normally it just shows main.load. It's this little section here. I've added a collection item, split into collection, to retrieve the first part of a collection, because I've stored the game name as this big long thing. So it's going to store whatever name you give it, or the player gives it, for the name of the slot, and then it's going to store the captain's name, the map that you're on. This is how long to retrieve how long you've been playing the game. So main.playtime semicolon. That'll give you this format of 00:00 semicolon. Yeah, I don't know why it says semicolon, because that's not a semicolon. And then at the very end I've added a little dash and time.now, which I think I talked about in the other video. That's the date, so it'll take the date here in this format, 7/2, or month/date/year. And all I want for the save slots, I just want to retrieve the first item of that. So the first item in the collection is going to be the value or the name that the player gives the save slot. So that happens when you're naming the save. Over here you see how each of these has its own save slot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're numbered from 0. So slot 1 is slot 0, slot 2 is slot 1, slot 3 is actually slot 2, and so forth. It's just one above the slot number. So I don't even think I needed that. Oh yeah, I did. So I made a save time just to store this time in a variable for my own sake. This is the event that fires to store all the actor data and map data. And then here, the save game interface has the input field that we're in. That's where the player can give the save slot a name. So I'm just combining that with a semicolon to create a collection. And then I'm adding or combining it with the player name variable, the map title. That's the display name of the map, not the scripting ID, because I just want to store the name. This is just to show the player what the name of the map is. And then there's another semicolon to make another entry, and I add the save time at the very end. So that way I can actually pick each element out of this one line to display when I mouse over one of the save slots. So whenever you're on the save load game menu, down here, whenever this field gets highlighted, first I want to check to see if there is a save file. And remember, they start at 0, so save slot 1 is actually slot 0, so I want this to be 0. all it's doing is checking to see if there is a save there. If there isn't, it's going to clear out the little hover display area, and if there is, I want to do this whole big thing here. It's hard to tell what's going on, but I'm just splitting things or pulling things out of the collection that I've just made and adding little tags like the captain name, location. Looks a little weird because it's not an equal sign. I've got a colon there, and then there's a page break, or a line break. I mean, that's just Alt 0182. You can skip down the line, and it'll move the next set of data down a line. And the last one is the time. So it just kind of turns on the hover display field, hover tooltip, and pulls all that information right out of the title. So you can find your save files in your documents folder. It's actually .1sv. Usually it's in your user documents 001 games, and then in the folder that you made for your project. But inside this settings.ini file is all that information that gets saved. Right here is this is the, I believe it's called the key. Or section, I mean. I always forget, because when you go in here and you want to retrieve this isn't, it's a setting, I believe. Yeah, load setting. So it's divided into sections using these bracketed section titles, and I actually created one earlier just to test some stuff, and instead I figured it was easier to do it like this, so I can just create these little collections. And the first element of the collection is the name of the save slot. The second part is the captain name. Then there's the map they're on, and then the playtime. So that's stored in the section called save, which is just entered there. And key is going to be each line of information. So the key would be save 0 for slot 0. Or slot 0, I mean, just to match things up. So this is if you're trying to load something out of here, and default value is just what you want it to show if there's nothing there. So if there's nothing there, you could have it say nothing by leaving it blank, or you could say, slot 1. This is how it's set up to store the names, or when there's not a save file, this is how it's displaying the word slot 1 for each, or slot 1, slot 2, all the way through slot 5. This is chosen by the default value. And then file, you can actually create your own if you want. It doesn't have to be the settings.ini file, but you can create your own. You can create your own separate ini files. You can create, I think you can just give it any extension you want at all, and it will just create a file with that extension. So you can give it a weird file extension that nobody knows. They could effectively drag it into Notepad or something and read it, but it won't be a .ini file. So that's all I'm doing for the save load stuff. I don't actually remember if I was using this section or not. This was mostly for experimenting here. So all the rest of this information is related to saving and loading actors and maps, and whew, it's a lot of stuff. So my mic is on, right? So I usually have it on by default. Oh my gosh, I can't click on anything today. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to fix is pretty much everything in here except for the backgrounds, I believe. Was it 304 by 248? Oops. I want to switch things from being window fields first. buttons are all windows, and windows take up more performance because they're like stretching a graphic out. So I've come back over here to make my longer buttons, and I just need a button that's 288 wide, and my little button program. Just gotta update the button size here. So now I've got a new button. I can go back to my buttons folder, and this will be main menu button normal black. Those are 288 by 32, just to keep the size and the title so it's easy for me. I like to know which images. I have a whole bunch that look the same, but they could be slightly different. So in my interfaces, I don't think I have a folder for my main menu yet. Main menu. I do think I've named buttons menu buttons. Oh, I can just call them main buttons. So I'll create a new. Actually, let me just copy one of my other buttons. I'm going to call it normal. Why are there two of these? Peculiar. There shouldn't be, so I'll delete one. Weird. Where's my normal button? There, okay. I just want to copy and paste it so it's got all the settings. I don't have to cut and paste things. And then just replace it with my other button. Main menu button black. I believe it has a little thin background. That program's super old, so it doesn't really doesn't support transparency, unfortunately. So now I'm gonna rename it. Let's name it main button normal. Save that. Then I can just create all my variations here. I have a pressed. That'll be 288 by 32. Turn off my glass there. Loop, loop. Go down to the main menu button. Pressed. Got my I think I just did not save my active button. I swear to God I did. Oh yeah, I did. Well, I think I've got a different setup for the background colors on my active buttons. And then 288. Guess all I did was save the palettes. I haven't worked on buttons in a few weeks, so I've forgotten. Main menu button. Activated. And then I've got a one more for disabled. So that will be, I think, the last one. Main menu button disabled. I think I'm coming down with something. My nose is getting weird feeling. Okay, so I've got my normal button. My active button. Oh, I forgot to highlight it. There we go. Okay. So each of these has that stupid little invisible, or not invisible, almost invisible, dumb little line around the outside. There's no way for me to fix that because I'm using abandoned software and they'll never update it again. That one got left behind ages and ages ago. So now I've got highlight. I wish some of these programs were still available somewhere. You can't even pirate these. They're not available. You had to buy them from this specific online shop way back in the day. You cannot find it anywhere. The free version might be online somewhere still. I think that was distributed freely and people may have backed it up. So that would be the Button Maker freeware 1.5, I think. I'm using the newer version that they released, 2.5. It's very unfortunate that you can't get it anymore because it was really useful for making these cool old looking buttons. Now I'll make a new one called Pressed. Go grab my Pressed. Now, did I make all these BMPs? I think I did. I've used a lot of BMPs though. I don't think I made any of them ping files. Ping might be smaller. I'll have to do some tests and see. And then I need my disabled, which will be the last one, I believe. I don't actually know that there will be a use case for a disabled button in the main menu, but maybe disabling the save and load in certain cases. Okay, so that should be everything. Come back into each of these, and I just gotta resize them. Changing them to static sprite will reset the size to 64 by 64. And if I come back in here, there's my main menu folder. This is the highlight one, so I want this one here. That'll resize. I don't know why this is flipped upside down. Doop. Now, this was no longer a window sprite, or a window graphic. And there's one, oops, there's one hidden back here. Hidden in the back. Main menu. Regular button. Oops. If you don't change it to static sprite first, it'll reset your size. I want it to be 288 by 32 there. Don't want per pixel cursor. Don't need per pixel cursor. Just gotta do the same thing for each of these, which is a little bit frustrating, but tedious more than frustrating. Set that to static sprite number 3. And this will just cut down on some of the frame rate use, because Windows sprites are they're more performance heavy. Try to use static sprites where you can. That one, 5, static sprite, no per pixel, main menu, and lastly number 6, static sprite, no, main menu, and normal. So the downside is all of these have something that changes the main selector to another graphic, so I have to go back in here and set up all this garbage. So main button pressed, I think I can just copy all that, but it's in every single one. And so I have to go through each and every one of these. There's a few other cases, I think, in the leave and touch up, that'll all restore the sprite for the selector. So it's a whole bunch of stuff to change. Slot 4 is the same, just one at a time. Tedious. You don't have to watch me do this if you don't want. I don't blame you. And one more. And then I have to do it again. Oh, this one doesn't even have it. I can just copy the mouse touch down trigger here, put it in here, because I do want this to do a button press when you click it. Now I have a mouse touch up that I need to switch. Main menu, this returns it to the highlighted state, so it's like the non-pressed button. Copy that. Yes, you'll have to do stuff just like this if you're making massive menus. So it is possible, I believe, to do a spawned collection here where you could spawn all this information from a single collection instead of making, you know, an individual field for each slot in your save menu. You could probably spawn a list and then just pull all the information you need by referencing each entry. Oh, what did I just do there? It's mouse touch up. I think I went to the wrong trigger there. Yeah, there we go. Oh, this is not super exciting. Beep. And that guy doesn't have a mouse touch up trigger, so we'll grab that. And lastly, I think the mouse touch leave does the same thing, so I want to change that as well. It's just in case you're holding the mouse button down when you drag out of the button, it'll return it to the highlighted state. La, 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 la. Almost done. Almost. This is all just to remove window sprites or window fields from my interface. So I use window fields to design the interface usually because they're scalable, they're just easy to piece together. But then comes the ridiculous part, just getting all the sizes right, and then I can make solid static graphics and replace them just like this. So last one, I gotta copy and paste. This guy doesn't have a leap trigger. Okay. Now to test. Go in here. Now, I think that's a different button pressed graphic than I'm using elsewhere. Yeah, it's a little bit darker. No, I don't remember. I gotta fix these get disabled for some reason. Oh yeah, I think I have to update it once I leave the main menu. I'm doing a reset on the main flight buttons interface to clear out any changes I made to fields on it. So if I manually change the value of a field that has a retrieve text use value, it doesn't update. So let me quickly add an update interface because it's not updating my menu buttons on the right side of the screen there. Let's give that a go. Is that a real person? Yo. Probably not, but who knows? Here we go. Let's see if this works. Button presses. Okay, so now everything's disabled for some reason. Let's see why. There's no menu. Then as soon as I get hit, why? I might have to update it twice. Yikes, why? Once in a while I have to do a double update of an interface because it has there are fields that have associates, and the associates don't update until the fields update. I don't know, it's complicated sometimes getting all this working right. So let me see. You leave the main menu. That totally. Okay, actually, what I want to do here, I just want to change that order. Here. And then it's because I'm updating it before I turn off the menu switch. I didn't even realize that. So I'm going to come back here, put that there, put that there. I don't even need these. Sometimes you just have to follow the order of things. If a switch is turned on or off in a certain place, other stuff might not work correctly. Okay, so in menu, turn. Okay, but these need to disable when you go into the main menu as well, so I'll get to that next. Ta-da! Okay. So my inputs, I have a menu button here, and this will turn on the interface menu switch. But what I've forgotten to do here next is update the flight buttons so that everything is disabled. I might be able to just put that into the enter trigger for the main menu. Okay, needs a double update, so once you're in the main menu, I'll just put another second update here. Update the flight buttons again. So this will fix the background button colors. So what's happening, I think I've explained it in a few videos, but the label gets updated first, and the associates, when you're updating an interface, they all get updated at once, so that the fields, if they're in one state, their associates don't update to the new state, they'll update to the old one. So sort of like you know, if the label is active, then the background is considered active, or its associates considered active. So when I update the interface, then the label gets disabled. The background layer, or the background part, only knows that it was just active, so I have to update it twice for it to catch that value. So I also don't think that's working right. So I'll come back in here. Not cancelled. I want to put that in the same place just to see if that's what's doing it. That way I can keep track of exactly where it is. There we go. That's what I want it to do. I want it to disable all of those when you're in the main menu. Then I've got all of my times and stuff. The only other thing I have left is to add little tooltips to these guys. And then, great. That all works. Cool. My phone's bleeping. And then everything should just work the same when loading and saving games. And if you're on the main menu or the title screen, it doesn't fire any errors or show descriptions yet. I'm going to have another little dialog box pop up here that shows you the information about the save. I think it's going to be on this side instead of down here, or it might be here. Who knows? I'll figure it out. But I also got to fix this incorrectly colored pressed button, which I don't even know if I have a saved version of that. Oh, there it is. Ha 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 ha. It was hidden because I had glass on it. Menu, main menu, pressed. Then all I have to do is replace that sprite here in the editor. Let's see, that's a bit brighter than what I want. There we go. Get rid of that little thin line. And it's not the most amazing effect. I'm probably going to redo some of the press buttons throughout the game. Into the menu. There we go. That looks like the rest of the game's buttons. Then just tap on it. Perfect. None of these buttons have pressed actions yet, but I also grab this here. Don't think I have that in the button. So what I'm actually going to also have is when you press the escape key, it's going to just select the main menu here. I also have to set it up so these become active when you're in that particular menu. So there's some actions I haven't quite put into the game yet. I also need this condition here, or switch branch, because I don't have it here in my escape key. So right now you can just hit escape whenever something's happening and the menu will pop up. So I have this wait action switch. Whenever anything is happening, that's literally scanning, docking actions. It'll pause scripts from happening, like controls and such, so you can't open a menu while you're in the middle of a scan or something. Now I just need to make sure that works. While I'm scanning, can't open the menu. Escape works. That works. Now, the other part I want to add is eventually, once, because I don't have sections for all of these yet, and I'll do that when I have sections for all of them, because they're going to check interface states and stuff. So I still have to do little shadows for the backgrounds of these buttons. I don't remember if I saved my... It's a tricky process making these. Highlights one. I did 2. Oh, I thought I wanted it to be 128. Oh no, because I'm lightening the texture. Just kidding. Okay. I don't think this size will work, but let me give it a go here. I need my other. Yes, I know. G. Come on. Okay. So first I want to go grab my metal texture here. I'm using this kind of darkish metal for my interfaces. I think that's That's the one I'm using. There's two of the same, one's slightly lighter. Yeah, this is the one. I want to switch to bump, and then I want to go grab my shadow mask. Main menu, shadow. So this will apply the texture to this graphic here. I don't know if this is going to be the right size or not, because it's going to be exactly the same size as the button. So I think I was adding 16. 7. Oh, because it's at 42. So 10. Okay, so I want it to be 298, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. A lot of the graphical stuff with the buttons and masks is kind of trial and error. So I have to get the pixel size correct so it's actually outside the width of the button. Button. So, what? 298 by 42. Didn't I just... Wow. Let's try that again. Main menu button. Menu button shadow. 298 by 42. Just rename it. Okay. I think I did load the right one. I am just a doofus because I am sleepy. That gives me this 298 by 42. I don't know if I'll be able to use that or not, so I'll give it a shot here. We'll call it main menu button shadow. Then I'll come back over here to my main menu. Oh, I'm still in the game. And just to test it, we'll go here, paste one of these, main menu button shadow. And there won't be a file or a sprite called main menu button shadow. I'll actually incorporate it into the background of the menu itself once I get the sizes correctly. So we will grab a new sprite field and make it this shadow here. And what's my alignment on those? Centered. I will center it. Now this will cover up my buttons. First things first, I want to grab a location. Control A, Control C. I'll turn off my snapping there. Control A, Control V. Make sure that's in exactly the right spot. So it's a little bit wider than I want it to be. It's actually covering the edges there. I think the... Let's move this to the back. And just move it forward a couple spots. And we can see it behind the button. So that's about where I want it. I actually think if I cut down the width 296, that might be more reasonable. Or it might fit the way I want it to, I think. Just give it a shot. So many. So many. That'll be slightly smaller. Can't tell if it's... Okay, yeah. And we'll try that. Save it as main menu button shadow. Yes. And give this one more import. Replace with main menu button shadow. And it's going to be the same size, so I want to correct the size. There, now it's fitting much better. It's not quite crossing the edges there. And that's basically how I will include my shadows in the background of these buttons. So this one, I actually want to be up here. Control C, Control A, Control V, scooch it up a little bit. And it does appear I could remove the outside edge there. So go into my mask editor here. And I can kill an entire line outside here. So let me just make this outer border pink. Or magenta, whatever color this is. This is the default transparent color in 001. Game Creator. Actually, I could just do this with a square. I don't know what I'm doing here. I want to be at 0, 0. Just double check I got that right, because it's hard to see in this one sometimes. I'll just grab this and do a restore transparency. So I don't have to re-render a whole new mask. I can crop the size back down, 294 to 40. And that gives me a slightly smaller shadow here. And replace that. And I do want to save this mask here as well. That's main menu button shadow mask. So I'm going to piece together the background. First, let me test to make sure the size here is slightly better. Main menu button shadow. Shrinks it just a little bit. That gives me a size of 294 by 40, just in case I have to resize anything. $294 by 40. There we go. Much nicer. And then just to apply the effect throughout the interface, See, they line up much better now. They don't cross over the shading on the edges. And just got to do that a couple more times. Control A, Control C, Control A, Control V. Let's see, much nicer. Then I can actually just move these to the back. Just behind the buttons. Move to the back. I mean, they don't have to be in any particular order, but I want them to be prioritized from top to bottom for now. So that's how I'll get this effect. Now, the way I'll have to do that over here is to use this mask in combination with my what is it? Main menu background here. So I want to turn on my snapping. These will just kind of set this one to back. Now, they're not going to snap together because the grid's kind of wonky. I'll have to manually position things, I think. And it will take some trial and error to get all of this right. Oh, you jerk. So I don't know if I need them touching or two apart, so I'll have to do some math and some multiplying and dividing, figure out where everything should go. So 1, 2. Who's texting me? Nobody. My phone is just vibrating for no reason. So it's going to be something like this, with this in the background. I believe about there. There's another tile. Copy. Did I change the size of that background? So this is 306 by 250. And this one is 306. Okay, yeah, that's the same size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I can fit 6 of these in here. And I think they're 1 apart. Tedious. And then we move this back into place. Actually, they might not even be 1 apart. Get out of here, you. I can't see what I'm doing. Yeesh. It might not even be that simple. Well, this Can't tell if it has the outer border or not from here. Yes, it does. There we go. And I'll Control X that. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Well, not 100% sure if I'll get the positioning all right on this. What I want to do here is merge. That will give me a single movable piece here. Make sure I crop it down if there's anything that needs cropping. I'll bring it over here to my mask editor because I want to fill in this stupid line here. That way I can, let me double check something here. Yeah, it just weirdly looks like 2 pixels wide. Okay, so do the same thing here, restore transparency, because I just want to get rid of the pink, not any grays. I'll crop that down, and I'm going to throw that in here. And I don't think that will work right. I'll try. So let's get rid of these first. Down here in storage, I'll just import a new background image from here. That would be my main menu button shadows. A little bit weird. I don't know if I might have to shrink the size of the shadows just a little bit. I'll just call that main menu shadow. Where'd it go? Didn't I just save it in there? Oh, I saved it in here. And that puts shadows behind the buttons. That does look a little bit better than I was worrying too much, I think. Let's go over here to the save load game menu. I can just do the same thing here. I can do more adjustment to that later. That mostly looks better than it did before. Nobody real today. Give it this one last little test here, just to look at the menu. Got all my shadows there, all my buttons. Save game menu. And everything is still working the way I had it. I haven't really run into a lot of errors today. It's kind of been a lucky day for me. Usually there's so many things going wrong. So I can load the universe or load a game. Everything will work because I've got everything set up correctly finally. No, right back where I was getting killed. Get away from me! So at the moment, there's not much super fast combat, but the combat is decent enough for a start right now. I don't have any true AI behaviors or anything crazy yet, but that might be all I'm going to cover in this video today. I have to go to work on the day shift today in a little while, so I do have to do some stuff and get ready before that happens. So I guess I will end it here with the save game system pretty much working the way I want, with showing the save slot information and all that. Hopefully that helped you guys figure out a little bit of stuff related to save games. I'll probably do more because there's still more to go, as you saw in this gigantic text file here. I still have to do maps and how map tiles will be restored. That'll be a whole nother video. But as usual, ScreamingBrainStudios.com. This is the main website that I run. I basically use abandoned software, abandonware, graphic software, abandoned tools exclusively to make old school graphics and asset packs that you guys can totally use for free. They're public domain. There's no obligation to pay anything at all. You can subscribe as a patron to support me. It's only $1. You'll get a special credit thanks on the website and all the asset packs, and there's a whole bunch of extra unreleased free assets you can get there too. I also do tutorials for old school graphic techniques and tricks, trying to translate things from the abandoned software into tools that you can actually get. And if you don't have any tools, you can find tons of them here on the tools page. So check it out, ScreamingBrainStudios.com. Hopefully I can cover the map saving next time, and maybe a little bit more work on some interface stuff. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.